had had a hand in tracking down Billy the Kid and was present the night Pat Garrett killed the young outlaw. The attendant publicity had advanced his already formidable reputation as a manhunter. Upstairs, Starbuck proceeded along the hall and stopped before the door of the suite. He removed his hat, tugged the lapels of his jacket straight, and knocked. The murmur of voices inside quickly subsided, and a moment later the door opened. An older man with a shock of white hair like candy floss greeted him with an outstretched hand. "You must be Luke Starbuck." "Yes, sir, I am." "And you're Vern Whitehead." Whitehead stepped aside. "Come on in and meet the rest of the boys." The suite was lavishly appointed. A thick Persian carpet covered the sitting-room floor, and grouped before the fireplace were several chairs and a plush divan. The other committee members, Sam Urschel, Oscar Belden, and Earl Poole, rose and moved forward. After a round of introductions, Whitehead motioned everybody to chairs. There was no attempt at small talk. These men were ranchers with little polish despite their wealth, and today they were all business. From the outset, it was apparent that Whitehead would act as spokesman for the group. Moreover, it was equally clear the interview would proceed along the lines of an interrogation. Whitehead assessed him with a shrewd glance. "You as good as John Chisholm says you are?" Starbuck wasn't impressed. They obviously meant to put him on the defensive, and the tactic didn't sit well. He let him wait while he rolled a smoke. After flicking a match on his thumbnail, he took a long drag and exhaled. "No offense intended, but you shouldn't have sent that invite unless you'd already checked me out." "Oh, we checked you out, Mr. Starbuck. We can't afford to go on the say-so of nobody, not even John Chisholm." "Then I reckon you got all you need." "Well, let's see." Whitehead extracted a sheaf of papers from inside his jacket. He snapped them open and began reading. "Says here you've been a range detective since the summer of '76, headquartered at Ben Langham's LX Ranch down the Texas Panhandle. Worked out of there for the Panhandle Cattlemen's Association." "Close enough." Starbuck admired the tip of his cigarette. "Except for the time I was out on loan to Chisholm." "Says here you've killed 14 men. "I never took time out to count." Whitehead fixed him with an inquiring gaze. "Does 14 include the ones you hung?" "Nope." Starbuck looked at him without expression. "That would make it considerable higher." "Not bad for a fellow," Whitehead consulted his notes, "who's just pushing 34. How is it a man your age ain't never been married?" Starbuck smiled. "I like my work." "Do you now?" Whitehead tapped the papers with his finger. "According to this, you inherited the LX from Langham and sold out to a bunch down in the Panhandle. That must have left you sitting on Easy Street." "I got enough to see me along." "Hold on," Oscar Belden interrupted. "Hey, you got money to burn, and you're trying to tell us you aim to keep on working for wages? Some of us find that a mite hard to swallow." "I told you," Starbuck said in a deliberate voice. "I like my work. How much I've got in the bank doesn't concern you or anyone else. That's my business." The words were spoken with the iron sureness of a man who tolerated very little from others. Starbuck was a full 6 feet, but built along deceptive lines. He was lithe and corded, cat-like in his movements, with a square jaw and lively chestnut hair. 5 years as a range detective had brutalized him, and the vestiges of a violent trade were etched around his eyes. He had the steely gaze of someone who stayed alive by making quick estimates. And now, staring at the men, he wasn't at all certain he wanted the job. They seemed far too picky to suit his style. "Let's suppose," Whitehead resumed, "that we offer